Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Future Ruins. It's been a little while. I figured it was time to do sort of a room tour. I've been working on this room for a while, and I finally got it sort of set up the way I wanted to, so I figured what the hell, it'd be fun to kind of just give you a tour of the room, the man cave, check everything out. I've also got a little bit of a collection update. I know it's been a while, so this is just some new stuff that I've gotten, new stuff I'm listening to. I kind of just wanted to get this video out pretty quickly so I could announce that I've got a new hiking video coming pretty soon. I'm still editing it. I took a week-long trip in South Utah with a buddy of mine a couple weeks ago, and we were mostly centered in the Capitol Reef National Park area. But one of the big backpack trips we did there, I shot a lot of videos, so hopefully going to have that in the next week or two. Coming soon, New Hike and Metal, episode 7. All right, so there's the new CD wall that I built. I had built the left one and had that up for a while, and then was kind of dragging on getting the other one set up. But I finally got it all the way I want it, and it's all the CDs and tapes. I used to be on one of these kind of deals, and I kind of just turned it into sort of a display shelf for stuff. And then as I start to add to the collection, I can move stuff over here. I might eventually move all my tapes over here, but yeah, just touring the room. This is the basement. Started with the Amorphous poster, got that signed and saw them at the Bluebird Theater a couple years before the pandemic with Swallow the Sun. Great band. Going to the Nile. I need to get a new frame for that, but I got the ticket stub signed. That was quite a few years ago for the Ivy Phallic tour. And Reverend Horton Heat. Not like somebody I listen to very often, but awesome band live. But yeah, kind of just looking across, there's my Amorphous flag. That's the gear room there for all my hiking gear and stuff. We're not going to look at that today. But onto the stereo side, got my Enslaved In Times tour. Got to meet all those guys and take a picture with them on that. It was awesome, as well as the Cynic Refocused Retrace tour. Quite a few years ago, they did the entire Focus record. So my setup, starting with the stereo here, I've got an Onkyo receiver, stereo receiver that everything's hooked up to. It's nothing crazy, nothing flashy. But it's got all the necessary inputs that I need for all of my components. Got the Blu-ray player there and the CD player, the Sony Blu-ray, and then the TIAC CD player. Nothing special there. Got some bookshelf speakers that I have set up as well. My Caladan Brood vinyl. My Dialogue with the Stars, Blutos Nord vinyl, and I just have this Yamaha tape deck. Got that for like $100 at used, and usually it's easy to find tape decks these days, and this one's been working fine for quite a few years now. No problems with it. And then there's my TIAC record player, TN300. I've had this record player for over 10 years now, and it still works great. It's nothing really special, nothing crazy about it, pretty standard. But yep, never had any problems with it. And then I've got all my speakers are Klipsch, and I got those standing speakers as well. I just got the subwoofer pretty recently. That thing really makes a difference. Going up to the CD rack and my tapes. Just kind of take a quick look real quick. My tape collection. And a bunch of CDs. Tears for Fears and Opeth Gojira show posters. That Opeth Gojira, Devin Townsend was at Red Rocks. That was really awesome. Just really, it was amazing to see that show at Red Rocks. And the Tears for Fears, I had taken my wife and mother-in-law to see them. They were playing with Hall & Oates at Fiddler's Green in Denver. Love Tears for Fears. And CD rack 1, got all my A5s and DVDs, stuff like that. And this is a recent addition as well. We don't ever have fires in this fireplace. I got another one upstairs, so just put this TV in here. This is kind of cool. It's hooked up to everything, so I can play YouTube videos. I can play my music DVDs through my system and whatever else. Right now I'm just using it as an artificial fire. And then on to the vinyl. Yeah, my collection is not really that crazy. I mean, I've been collecting for quite a while, but I keep my vinyl collection not too out of control. I do sell a lot of stuff that I buy. I just keep the stuff that I really, really love that I want to keep on vinyl. And then here I've got my scrapbook, and this is just full of ticket stubs just from shows over the years, Napalm Death, and yep, seen quite a few shows over the years, but managed to keep all my stubs, and just whenever I see something new, I just stick it in here somewhere. Show memorabilia. Alex Webster from Cannibal, his autograph. A lot of Rush stuff in here. A lot of Opeth, Maiden, Sabbath, Porcupine Tree, Steven Wilson, Primus, Agalloch, random stuff. It was me and Sean Reinert at the Death Is All tour. The Black Sheep here in Colorado Springs, where I got to see Suffocation. Tons of other shows. Some Devon stuff. There's my Enslaved photo. I wasn't actually going to ask them to take a photo with me, but I was sitting there, somebody asked me to take a photo for them, and the band was totally cool, so I was like, well, could you grab one of me real quick? Why not? Love those dudes. And that's my old band, Minus Infinity. Played some shows with Cephalic back in the day. More just old flyers and stuff like that. So, a very young me, 20, 30 years ago. I don't know how long ago that was. And just, yep, all kinds of stuff. Old Blue Grape catalog. So, my uncle bought me this book. This is show flyers from New Orleans from the 80s up through the 90s. Just tons of stuff in here. And Mean Deviation. This is Jeff Wagner's 4 Decades of Progressive Metal. This is a must read if you've never read it. Really good read. Jeff Wagner used to write for Metal Maniacs, and he's written a few books, but really amazing history that he compiled here. And just kind of the chill area, and Rush from the Time Machine tour. That's something that my wife got some years back. Pretty cool. Porcupine Tree, and this is my workstation where I work every day. So yeah, there you have it, guys. I think it looks pretty cool. So starting off, I'm listening to Miracle. I forgot the name of this, and I can't really read it right now because it's dark, but I just got this out of a random grab bag from Relapse. Mostly crap that I didn't want, I ended up selling, but this was nothing I'd ever heard of, and I really enjoyed it, actually. I think this is the guy that is in the instrumental band Zombie, which is kind of like a Goblin-style band, just psychedelic, weird rock kind of stuff, and this is his project. Really cool. It's kind of reminds me of sort of a mix between like Goblin and Depeche Mode or something like that, but I've been enjoying it. And before I get to the vinyl, real quick shout out to fellow YouTuber Avi Moores, who has a band called Kaltesblut. And I ordered this tape from him. This is their newest full length. I've only listened to this once so far, so I need to listen to it a couple more times and ingest it, but it's just kind of raw, atmospheric, sort of black metal. Really, really cool cover art. It's the guy behind Avi Moores and another guy that's in the band. Avi Moores does all the instruments, and there's a vocalist. But yeah, really cool. It kind of reminds me of the sort of Canis Dearest setup in terms of the lineup. Yeah, go check these guys out. I'll link them in the bio. All right, on to the vinyl. Really quickly, just going to go through these real fast. Starting, and this was one of my favorites of the year last year. I finally got a physical copy of it, Halas with Conundrum. I've already talked about this in my top 20, the last video I did, so I'm not going to say too much about it. If you have not heard this, this is fantastic. Swedish band, sort of atmospheric, space rock. It's got some 70s vibes, some 80s vibes. Really, really just good songwriters, and a fairly new band. Learned about them from yourlastrites.com. This is fantastic. Go check this out if you haven't. Also, another one that came out last year, finally got a physical copy, is the new Witch Hazel. This has been talked about a lot, and and just another sort of like that halas. It's just it's like a Christian rock, but kind of 70s, vibe. Just really good, well-written songs. It's really, really enjoyable record. This is the kind of thing that I want to go show this to my father-in-law and just say it's like, it doesn't matter if they're singing about Satan or if they're singing about Jesus. If the music is good, I don't really care. So I don't subscribe either way, whatever. If the music's good, it's good. But yeah, fantastic record. Go check that out. Next one is the new Pliny record with, what is this one called? Impulse Voices. And if you're not familiar with Pliny, this is not metal at all. It's heavy, and it's got sort of that, I guess, that newer, the whole gent thing. It's not really even that gent style. And I'm not usually into that sort of thing, but this guy, it's kind of in the vein of Animals as Leaders, a little bit more melodic, a little bit more different approach to it, some jazz elements. This kind of stuff can easily come off as just, technical for technical's sake. But this guy's a really good songwriter, really great melodies. You know me, if you can hook me with a good melody, I'm in. And this guy, his whole catalog is fantastic. This new one, I've listened to it quite a few times. It took a few listens to kind of sink in, but it didn't immediately hit me as much as his older stuff. But it is a fantastic record in his right. But Pliny is a great artist, man. If you are into like just melodic stuff, this guy, he writes some of the best. So yeah, Pliny. Next up, another non-metal release is the new Steven Wilson. I was almost hesitant to buy this physical copy. I'm a huge Steven Wilson fan, but I wasn't too crazy about the direction he went in this one, which is more of a kind of just a David Bowie pop kind of approach. It's a good record. It grew on me, and it just proved that whatever style this guy does, he's always amazing at it. Just the production on this thing, he's one of the best. And there's a few songs in there that kind of could have been like a Porcupine Tree song. But the biggest theme in here is sort of electro pop kind of stuff. So not my favorite of his, but still really good. Next up, now onto the metal. Starting with this is Stormkeep. Came out on Van Records, and if you haven't, there's a lot of hype behind this. I just jumped on the hype. This is just an EP from the band. Another new band from Colorado here, and I think the drummer is the guy that's in Blood Incantation and Wayfarer. And there's some other guys in there from other bands as well. This is sort of like a melodic black death metal kind of thing with dungeon synth mixed in it. Very dissection-ish kind of vibe. Really, really good. I'm looking forward to see, if these guys are going to do a new full length or what. This is just like 4 songs, but good mix of just like the sort of dissection-esque style melodic black metal along with some dungeon synth passages. A nice mix of that. It's really cool to see somebody kind of just melding the two. But yeah, so far I'm really digging this too. This next one is the new Mare Cognitum with Solar Peroxism. And been anticipating this one for a while. Been liking this guy for a few years now. His last 2 releases were fantastic. And so was really excited to hear this new one. And he just released a split album last year with the guy from Spectral Lore, which was a really long piece of music. I've got that on CD, and it's got some really good stuff from him. And he's got like 7 or 8 songs on that record. I would have thought, wow, he's already got a new record in the can as well. It's pretty amazing. And so yeah, listening to it, my first impression was, wow, this is like some of the most aggressive stuff he's done. It's just an utter blast fest. Just unrelenting in his sort of spacey, atmospheric, melodic, black metal style. But yeah, at first it didn't really hit me as hard as some of his previous releases, but I have had some time to listen to it. I've probably played this about 5 or 6 times, and it really does require a few listens to really take in everything that he's doing. My verdict at this point is it's just another fantastic release from this guy. He's one of the top in the game right now, and wow, it's just the riffs on this thing are just amazing, just really good songwriting. The only complaint I have is I wish it was maybe a little bit more varied, kind of like the last record, Luminiferous Aether, or Ether. And you know, this one's kind of just more straight aggressive across the board. The track in the middle kind of breaks it up a little bit, but nonetheless, fine piece of music here. Great. All right, just a few left, and this one I've been anticipating for a while, and I've talked about this band many times with new Ruins Beverage, with the Thule Grimoires. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, you know, this is one of my favorite bands, and this one I've had some time to sit on it and listen to it quite a few times, which his stuff as well requires attention to the detail. You really got to sit and pay attention to this stuff, and you know, it's another fine release from him. I don't like it as much as the last one, Exuvia, but it's not saying much. It's still freaking, everything this guy does is quality, from top to bottom. I usually don't go for, like, if you listen to older Ruins of Beverage, it's kind of got that sort of more unsettling and sort of disturbing vibe to it. I usually don't go for that sort of thing, but I don't know, there's just something about this band as his discography has gone on to do amazing things. And man, there's not a bad release by him. This new one, God, it's just such a monstrous production on this thing. Just massive sounding. Probably his best production, I would say, so far. I mean, I got the subwoofer hooked up down here, and this thing just slams. Really just amazing tones going on. He's definitely hitting upon a lot of different stuff. You know, there's definitely some nods to his previous catalog. There's a lot of, I'm sure everybody's been talking about the sort of Type O Negative and Depeche Mode kind of influence to his clean vocals on this one. But very varied record. Just every song is fantastic, and yeah, I've really been enjoying it so far. And that brings me on to more Ruins of Beverage. So Van Records went and repressed the entire catalog on vinyl, which is great. I've had a lot of this stuff originally on CD, and these vinyl pressings are so nice. I couldn't pass up on them, starting with Unlock the Shrine. I really like that they kind of, you know, a lot of times when they change the artwork for new releases, I'm not too crazy about it, but they really upgraded the artwork this time for this one. If you have this, my CD version of this, one of the older pressings, really leaves a lot to be desired in the artwork. It really did a nice job in kind of centering in on what was in there and kind of adding some color to it, so it looks really nice. These Van Records pressings are just beautiful. This one's just kind of like, they're all color vinyl. This is kind of like a smoky top vinyl. But yeah, the first one, I mean, fantastic debut from this band. This one takes a few lessons. Every single album of his, you really got to spend time on it, but it's so rewarding in the end. And yeah, starting with this one, I mean, it's just quality right off the bat. The production's a little wonky, just kind of lo-fi, but some great cuts on this one. Next up to the Rain Upon the Impure, which they definitely upgraded the artwork on this one as well. On the CD, I can never really tell what the hell is going on in that artwork there, but if you look really closely, you can kind of see a bunch of people marching across this sort of desolate landscape. I'm assuming those are the Impure. But fantastic follow-up to Unlock the Shrines. This one's definitely a pretty disturbing listen. It's got some great stuff. The production's a little bit better. It's still a little wonky like the first record, because there's just so much going on. It's but maybe it kind of adds to the flair of it, you know, when you get some of these kind of weird productions like this has. But another fantastic record from this guy. Leading up to what I would say is probably, this may be his best record, is Foulest Seaman of the Sheltered Elites, which is such a great title. And I would say that this is where he really kind of honed in on the production and definitely the variation in the music. And every song is good. It's really varied. And I would tell most people, if you've never heard this band, start with Exuvia and then go to this one, because this one, this might be his best one. It's really just got a lot to it. And then the follow-up, I already had that on vinyl before, but like I said, new hiking videos coming pretty soon. It should be pretty killer, hopefully, so we'll see.